Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree? You are knowing what you are wanting. Are you enjoying the evolution of your desire? Tiresome, isn't it? Are you appreciating the variety that surrounds you, that helps you to focus new desire into place? Are you enjoying the supportive universe that backs up each and every desire as quickly as you can hatch it? Or nearly as quickly as you can hatch it? What about that? Do you believe that you are the creator of your own reality? Do you like that? Do you believe that you have experienced enough life to know everything that you want forevermore? Or are you enjoying the contrast that continues to surround you as a focusing agent? Yes. You appreciate your ability to focus. You understand that you are more than this physical body that you see. Are you beginning to experience the exhilaration of harnessing a focusing power or a focusing point of view, a focusing perspective that even goes beyond the one that surrounds you here in your time-space reality? In other words, while it is certainly true that the variety that surrounds you helps you to become clearer and clearer about what you want, are you beginning to feel that there is a perspective that is even broader than that you have access to? Do you ever feel that in the moment pouring through you? We enjoy interacting with you and observing you exploring your personal variety and coming to your new conclusions about what you want. But something that most of you are unaware of is that as a result of having been doing that for so long, you have amassed a perspective that you are in most cases not up to speed with. In fact, in most cases, not even close to being up to speed with. Are you following us just a little bit about that? In other words, have you heard us speak of your vortex, which is a vibrational arena or holding place that contains all of the particles of desire that you have been concluding? In other words, when you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. As you observe the parameters of life here in this physical time-space reality, you come to many in every day conscious conclusions about what would be better, what would be better, what would be better. The evolution of all species is really about that honing experience. So through the process of living life, you have been coming to those conclusions and sending off these rockets of desire, and this vortex that we speak of, which is a vibrational arena where everything that you want is being held for you in a sort of vibrational escrow. All of those components, as they begin to mesh together, and as law of attraction, the same law that is the engine behind everything that exists universally, as law of attraction responds to those pieces of desire that you've put there, there is a creation of a vibrational version which is the predecessor of wonderful manifestation that is on your doorstep, that is visible, understandable, known by the source within you. Now, you're here in these physical bodies and you have perspectives. You certainly do. You have personalities, you have moods, you have attitudes. As people know you, they'll say, well, she's like that or he's like that. That's just who they are. So you have developed these ways of approaching life here in your physical format. Some of you are seen to be ambitious. Some of you are seen to be more laid back by those who observe you. Some of you are more easygoing. Some of you are more hyper about things. In other words, your friends have labeled you, and in many cases, you agree with them that they are perfectly accurate in their labeling of how they see you. But what we want to call your attention to here today is something that you often are seemingly unaware of altogether, and that is that in this amassing of who you have really been becoming, there is a vibrational version of you. We've been referring to it as your inner being, but that gives you the impression that it was the soul of you that existed before you came into this physical body. And we want you to understand that this inner being, this amassing of this perspective of who you really are, is not just who you were before you came into this physical body, but who you have become since you've been in this physical body, because the ongoing creation of you is this never-ending process. And what we want to call your attention to is that that vortex version of you holds a perspective that if you will allow it to merge with the perspective that you think is the perspective or the personality or the attitude or the opinion of you, if you will just allow more of a merging of that broader point of view, your moment to moment, day to day experiences will be oh so much more delicious. Because when you integrate the utter worthiness that who you really are knows about you, when you integrate the unconditional love that who you really are feels about you and everyone else, when you integrate the balance and the flexibility and the clarity, when you integrate who you really are with who you're letting yourself be in any moment in time, oh, life is so rich and so delicious and so satisfying, and you want so much more of it. And when you don't, when you deprive yourself of the advantage of all of that clarity, you feel the deprivation. You feel the deprivation of the perspective of who you are. And that, in fact, is what every particle of negative emotion is. It's you depriving yourself of your true point of view, of how you really feel, you see. If you've been listening to us for a while, you've been hearing us talking about who you are, that you were source energy before you came into this physical body, and that here in this body you're sifting through contrast, and of course you're becoming more, and that the relationship between who you're allowing yourself to be in any moment and who you really are is what all of your emotions are about. But we want to say it in a way here today that you will feel it at more conscious levels of your being. You often feel it at very deep levels. In other words, when you're having a moment of really being in love with someone, in that moment, you're flowing all that you are into the conversation, into the lovemaking, into the moment in time that you are living. When you are in an attitude of appreciation, in that moment of appreciation, you are allowing the fullness of who you are. We just want you to be aware that that perspective is available to you. And we want it to be a conscious decision on your part. We want you to consciously acknowledge, I want to perceive through the whole of who I am. No longer am I willing to pinch myself off from the broader point of view and just try to make my way through my world by coping.